Hello and welcome to my live virtual chat show this evening. And I'm really pleased to announce that I will be joined by the multi-talented Anusha Sareen. And so I first met Anusha last year at the London Mindfulness and Inner Peace Festival, MBS, Mind, Body and Soul, where I had my Shabari Loves Tropic stall. This was at the Kenton Recreation Ground, which is near Harrow. And the event was actually organised by Arun Lotay of the Happy Healer Heart. And Anusha gave a kundalini yoga class at the event, and she's currently giving classes online. So Anusha actually is the current reigning Miss India UK, and also a kundalini yogi and an entrepreneur and an actor. So you'll get to hear all about Anusha's story tonight. And so if you have any questions for Anusha, you're welcome to put them in the comments section. And what I'll do is I'll read them out towards the end of the interview. So I'm just going to bring on Anusha.
Hello.
Hi, Anusha. Hi, how are you? How are
I'm good,
you?
thank you. Really good, thank you. Oh, I think there's a lag. Yeah, I'm really good. Looking forward to discussing all the topics today. And yeah, otherwise, just been relaxing, doing homey things, relaxing a lot. But yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so as I mentioned to my viewers just now, you're the current reigning Miss India UK. So could you tell us a bit more about that?
Of course. So it actually all kicked off around in 2018. I had done pageants before this time, but my most successful year was in 2018 when I was actually running for Miss England first. So we did tons of things. I was really honored to be able to go on TV, on chat shows, on radio, do a variety of different charity events. But it all kicked off with Miss England initially. And after all the experience and after all the months and months of preparation I had for that, I was approached to enter Miss India UK. Maybe I think it was 1 month after the finals at Miss England. In the Miss England that year, I placed 11th, which I was really, really happy about. And I managed to be top 10 for, I think there was about 11 or 12 subcategories, and I placed top 10 for about, I think it was 7 or 8 of the categories, which was really, really great. It was such a wonderful experience. So with the Miss India, I ran for Miss India in 2018 and I was crowned. It was really quick. It was as much of a whirlwind, really. And I did a really incredible talent with my friend Eugene Butcher, who is an acro yogi, and we did an acrobatic yoga performance on stage. And I think that's what did it. So it was really, really wonderful.
Oh, fantastic! And so you mentioned about doing sort of charity work. What kind of charity work do you do, and what are the names of the charities that you help out?
Of course. So over the years, I've worked with a range of different charities, including like local MenCap centers and local retirement centers, by just donating my time, actually, just spending time with the individuals, helping out with duties, arranging events, these kind of things. And then as time went on, through the Miss England venture, actually, I was doing a lot of community events and supporting at local hospitals. So I'd go into wards and kind of help bring the morale up. I would go to community fairs and help out with the raffles, or go around and speak to the locals. And then for my own personal charity fundraising, I worked with Joe's Cervical Cancer. I worked with Beauty with a Purpose, which is one of the bigger charities that is associated with Miss England. I've worked with a range of different charities and raised money. So during my reign from Miss England, I organized a community charity event and I raised a couple of £100 on that day. Well, more than, I would think it was around 600 on the day, it was wonderful because I put the event together in about 2 weeks. It was very manic, and we had lots of children dancing. We had stalls, like small business stalls, and it was a really lovely community event. But going on to the current charity work I do, I'm currently doing weekly yoga classes for over 65s, and that is with Harrow Art Centre. So that is really lovely. I really enjoy that because it just offers them a means of either looking after their health, both internal and external. And yes, that's a little bit about my charity ventures. There is something I'll probably mention a little later. So yeah.
Fantastic. And earlier I mentioned that we first met at Arun's London his health and well-being event last year. And so how did that sort of come about?
So my yoga venture actually started a couple of years ago. I met my teacher Mala Govan, and she unveiled the mystery that is Kundalini yoga to me. And on my first few sessions, I think I was a little bit, let me say, not stubborn. I was a little bit apprehensive of what Kundalini yoga was because it was very mantra orientated, but also it's very personal. Kundalini yoga is all about the yoga for personal experience, and I completely fell for it. Within a couple of classes, I was able to connect to these emotions, release a lot of baggage, but also just be privy to an energy that I hadn't experienced before. So that was the first part of my Kundalini yoga journey. And through her, she recommended me the Amrit Naam Sarovar school, which is based in France. So I decided to take up Kundalini yoga as a teaching module. And that was last year I did that. I'm currently also doing another course to help train children in yoga now. So I'm kind of going to combine the two, Kundalini and child's yoga, and see where I go with it. But for me, Kundalini yoga has been absolutely life-changing. I think it's brought me to a new realization of who I am, my personal purpose in life. Really, I'm able to, I think, utilize my personal power and my personal strength. And I really feel that it's impacted a lot of my decisions in life, but also it's helped me be very grateful and I feel constantly blessed. And I always have had this sense of feeling this blessed, well, I've constantly been very grateful in life, but at the same time, I think with Kundalini yoga, it just has opened up a completely new section for me, and I am able to apply it to absolutely everything I do in life.
Oh, that's wonderful. So I'll go back to your sort of Kundalini yoga a little bit later as well. And so you have a degree in biomedical sciences, but sort of now have decided to follow a different career path. Could you sort of tell us more about what happened, and what were your kind of influences? How did you go from doing a biomedical degree, biomedical science degree to what you're doing now?
Of course. So this is, I think I have a lot to say generally about absolutely everything. So, and you're such an easy person to talk to. So it's, you might need to stop me talking, otherwise we'll probably go hours on. But so biomedical sciences. I was a very academic child. I was in a very academic set constantly, and across the board, I was generally very good at sciences, at literature, at the one thing I sucked at, excuse my French, is it was history and languages. Languages being French. I managed to do very well in Latin, but I couldn't figure
Mm.
out French for the life of me. But but yes, so biomedical sciences was my avenue because initially I wanted to go down the route of medicine, and I had a really strong interest in the immune system, and I later did my dissertation in immunology. And I think what happened was I became to understand myself towards my later teens, but I was on a very interesting journey, and I discovered musical theatre at a very young age, but I discovered my personal confidence in musical theatre around the age of 14. And that's when I just took it upon myself one day to say, I'm going to sing in front of the whole year. And why? Because I just want to share my love for music with everyone else. And
Mm.
I think that kick-started something within me. It started this little fire, if you will, and it pushed me to start really going for some creative endeavors and going into acting and modeling. I still committed to biomedical sciences because I had the interest. And I also, I mean, coming from an Indian background, or not just an Indian background, a background where your parents are supportive and they want to make sure that you've got a solid career. And sometimes in the creative industry, it can be a little flaky, and you sometimes don't know when you're next going to get work. So they wanted me as well to have a security. And I think biomedical sciences was that for me. Um, but I always continued my modeling
Mm.
across the time. I continued certain musical endeavors. I continued training, and
Mm.
till now, I've even maintained training in acting, and I've been getting this year's been very exciting for me in terms of my progress in the acting industry. But yes, it's been a very interesting journey, and I wouldn't have been able to predict where I am today if I'm honest at all. I think it's just all about riding the waves and just taking the best out of whatever you're given, but also realizing the opportunities as they come, because they're constantly coming, especially if you're open to them.
Mm.
So yeah. Did
Mm.
I answer the question?
Oh, yes, yes, that's great. Thank you very much. And just just about that, really. I mean, do you believe in fate? Do you believe that there's sort of perhaps things that you're kind of fated or destined to do? And do you kind of believe in that? Yeah.
I would say that I believe that everyone has certain opportunities that will come to them, um, and it's not it's completely up to the individual to be open to accepting these opportunities. They pop up all the time, and sometimes we don't even realize what the opportunities are. It could be a simple thing as a stranger walking past you in the street and waving at you, something so small like that, but it could open up a whole nother avenue. So I think in terms of fate, I do believe
Mm.
we have certain destinies, but I also believe that we have to have a sense of openness to receiving these opportunities. But also, I think sometimes in our lives, if we've made certain choices, we're not always ready to commit to our destiny in that moment in time. And often we'll have to repeat certain decisions. We'll have to repeat a lot of things so that we can learn certain lessons, and that way we move forward. So often, I don't know if you've ever had that feeling where you're in a rut and the same things keep happening, and you're trying to get out of
Mm.
this circle, this loop. And I have a strong belief that these kind of loops that happen in our lives are actually
Mm.
lessons for us, in order
Mm.
for us to progress and in order for us to move forward.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, life is tough, and nobody would have predicted that this would happen. And it's kind of like, I guess for all of us, it's just such a very, very sort of strange time, and a lot of people are kind of complaining, and they're sort of saying, well, this is affecting them badly, and perhaps it, I sort of see it as being in this pandemic, it's kind of like given me an opportunity to kind of take stock, to kind of like learn about different things, and learn new skills, gain experiences, and yeah, it's very different now to how life used to be. But yeah, I guess like I do often think about what is going to happen to the future. But then the thing is, like, if we're constantly thinking what is going to happen to the future, then we're not really focusing on the now. And I think what is important now is your loved ones, like being there for your loved ones, and just earlier on you were talking about purpose, maybe like just kind of like thinking what your purpose is, as well. Have you ever watched that film called Sliding Doors, with
Yes.
Gwyneth Paltrow? Yeah, and so that was something, actually, I mean, I watched that, and it was all about sort of meaningful coincidences, serendipity, and how you said about being at the right place and at the right time. And I think what happened with Gwyneth was that she missed a train, and then
Yeah.
ultimately met somebody who was going to be her life partner. And I think again, that could be in sort of different scenarios. You might miss the train, or you might or the bus, and then you end up sort of meeting somebody who then sort of changes your life. Has that ever happened? And have you sort of to you, where you kind of like met someone who became a sort of huge influence in your life?
I think along my entire journey, I've constantly met individuals that have been absolutely amazing. They've impacted my life hugely, and I think it constantly happens to us because, especially when we're open to it, because I think that, I mean, whenever I can give an example, maybe. So when I did the Miss India pageant, I went in with such an open heart, and I was actually helping a lot of the girls because for me, it was, I think, maybe my fourth or my fifth pageant, whereas most of the girls, I think maybe only one or two had done a single pageant before. So for me, I
Mm.
didn't go in with this mentality of, trying to just win. I really wanted to enjoy every single part of the experience. And I met a really
Mm.
beautiful soul during this time, and we're still in touch. And I know that if I had gone in with just the intention of focusing on winning, or focusing on purely myself and being completely selfish in that moment, I wouldn't have met her, and I wouldn't have the current beautiful friendship that we have today. And so absolutely, I think that constantly throughout life we are lucky to meet certain people that will change the course of our lives. And sometimes if we don't meet them, maybe that was also meant to be, because whatever we do choose, we have to move forward regardless. And everything, I guess, works out in the end, we'd hope.
Thank you. And so, how did you sort of subsequently decide to open a coffee shop? And what would you say were the highlights of your time in the coffee business? It was very different to what you're doing now.
Yeah, I know. I mean, sometimes when I talk to people, I mention small things, and it doesn't necessarily flow, you know, the biomedical science degree and then suddenly a coffee shop business and then acting and yogi. There's so many elements for me. And I think some people will choose their career at 18 and they will stick to it till the end, you know. I have found for me
Mm.
personally that I've been on a completely different path. I've been learning so much about myself, more so in the past 3 years than I have done in a long time. And I think that with everyone, they all have a different relationship in their lives, you know. So for me, the business was interesting. It was very random actually. So I just graduated from Aston University, and my dad said to me, Anusha, have you got any plans? And I was like, no, we've just graduated, completely free right now. And he had a proposal. There was a franchise called Mango Bean that were setting up, and they wanted some guinea pigs to trial their business plans. So I figured, okay, well, what a beautiful excuse to spend more time with my dad, to bond with him, but also a great experience to just get some hands-on practical business experience. And so we went in, and it was incredible. I think from the get-go, I just dived straight in. And honestly, I think sometimes in certain ways, just diving straight into business was so valuable for me, because I think you can apply business mentality to absolutely everything. And it was also
Mm.
at 22, being in the positions
Oh.
I was in, dealing with the people I was dealing with, it was very interesting because personally, I think sometimes in a group setting, I like to sit back a little bit. I like to observe and not always take the back seat. I'll take the back seat until I've made, I don't know, made some decisions, or had an idea of the dynamics of the group I'm dealing with. And we had very interesting franchisors, and in fact, we decided to go independent immediately after starting, because I didn't agree with anything they were doing actually. And but it was fascinating because these were middle-aged to they were middle-aged men who sat down and they expected everything to go smoothly, and here's a contract, sign it, and here's this and here's that. And I found myself actually, which I found quite amusing at the time, and even amusing to talk about now, I found myself actually correcting them a lot, giving them
Mm.
lessons on how to draw up contracts, of which I had very little experience, mind you, but I was dealing
Mm.
with them in such a hands-on way, and I realized very early on that they weren't going to be helpful. They weren't going to be what I needed to make my business successful. So very early on, I decided to not sign anything with them, and I decided to go immediately. I went independent. I said to my dad, well, we both agreed on the fact that we could just do better ourselves, and we can just create an independent, beautiful, fruitful business. So it was wonderful. And so one of my highlights there was just being so hands-on. And I think at a young age, that kind of experience for me was just so, I don't think I could have got it anywhere else if I'd gone and worked for someone else, or headed into a uh, um, biomedical position. I think that was a big highlight for me because it really instilled a certain level of confidence for me. A second highlight I will have to say is so I built a flat with my dad. We did a lot of DIY together at the same coffee shop on the top floor. And it was two derelict rooms. Well, actually, it was a 3-floor building, and we turned the top few floors into flats. And we did the top floor ourselves, and it was just so much fun. I mean, I don't know if I look like a DIY kind of girl, but I built the kitchen, the wall. We built like a, you know, I don't know the terms unfortunately, but we raised the floor, we brought the ceilings down, we created a
Wow.
partition in the kitchen diner. It was everything. And I just learned so much, you know, and I found that very, very valuable. And I really cherished that time that I
Mm.
had with my dad, actually. because it was probably the first time after university that we got to spend that time together.
Oh, that's a wonderful story. Yes. So I guess you know, what you were saying earlier is that by learning you know, from the sort of ground up all about business, you're able to kind of apply the skills that you learned to other aspects of your life. I mean, I myself I did a degree. Well, first of all, my bachelor's degree was in engineering, and then after that I did an MA in international business administration. But I always say that yes, I learned the theory of business, but it's only when you actually do business itself that you actually learn how to do business. It's not by doing a you know, a 3-4 year university degree. It's all theory. And so no, it's really great that that you learned that, and you know, particularly at a young age of 22. And you know, there's a lot I guess to be said for you know, for doing a family business. I mean, was there any sort of times where you kind of like you had sort of disagreements, you know, you wanted to run things a certain way and your dad wanted to run it a different way?
Absolutely. I think when you work with family, because you're so comfortable with each other, there's always going to be small disagreements. But the great thing about that is you always remember that you're family. So no matter how bad the disagreement, you're stuck with each other for life. So, yeah, I mean, we did have disagreements, and mostly my dad was actually, he basically, after the setup, it was completely left in my hands to run, to manage, to develop everything. So I didn't really have anyone to disagree with if yeah, that was the case. And then towards the end, when we decided to sell the business on, that was when I think towards the end I decided to move back into London, and my dad took over again. And that was really, really really helpful for him, because I think at the time I had a few opportunities going on in London, so it was really hard for me to stay in Hampshire, which was where the coffee shop was. So he really took took care of that for me after towards the end. So we opened in 2015, and then we ran for 3 years before selling it on. So it was a nice amount of time, and the plan was always to develop it and set it up and then sell it on, never to kind of stay for the long term.
Fantastic. And so you know, going back to you know, your work as an actor and model, what would you say were your sort of favorite roles working as an actor and a model?
Oh, I would say this year has been very interesting, and I got signed to Spotlight last year, which is the biggest network of it has the biggest network of casting directors and also talent. It's great to be on there because it does mean that you get a high quality agent, and you can be submitted for high quality, not high quality, but just high quality work actually. So I got signed this year in January before everything kicked off. And I was lucky enough to fly out to Bucharest for a gig. I think I can say what it is, as long as I don't give you guys too much detail. But it was for Samsung, and it's the biggest client I've ever worked for. So I was really, really happy, and really, I felt very blessed to be able to have been chosen for the role. And it was a great experience. I mean, everything was obviously taken care of because it's Samsung. And the team were amazing. It was just, even though the working days were very long, I mean, I arrived at like 3 a.m, and then I was on set that day from 1 o'clock. So I had time to rest. And then mostly it was about 12-hour plus days. for most of the time that we were out there. But the team, the director, the assistant directors, the wardrobe assistants, everyone was just so kind and very open, and it was so enjoyable being out there. I only wish that I got to see a bit of Bucharest, because on the plane out there, I was
Yeah.
writing down all the places I could visit. But because of the impending quarantine and lockdown situations, everyone was just rushed to get home in case we were, I don't know, stuck in Romania. So yeah, that would be my best
Yeah.
thing to date so far, would be that job that I did.
Oh, fantastic! And you've also done modelling shoots actually for the head office at Tropic. So could you tell us more about what that was like?
Absolutely. I think when I modeled for them last year and the year before, so I think they were still quite new. I hadn't heard of them before, and so when I went on set and I saw the designs, the colors, the ingredients, oh gosh, don't get me started on how beautiful it is. Just reading the back of one of these products, it's just really refreshing. But yeah, the team were wonderful. Worked with about, I think there was a team of 6 of us on the first shoot I did, and on the second
So did
shoot,
they approach you, or did they approach your agent? How did that sort of all come about?
I actually did an online application. So I saw a job. It wasn't specific about what company it was for, but I remember it saying vegan. I remember it saying basically plant-based and vegan and animal cruelty free, and it said all these things that I was like, yes, 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 I would love to work for them. And so I just put my application forward, sent a picture of myself and some of my credentials so that they knew what my experience was, and then they got back to me and they said, yeah, we'd love to work with you. Here's the booking dates, come along. And obviously, here are the terms. And they looked after us really well. They even, on top of everything, on top of the shoot, they even gave us complimentary Tropic goods, which I'm still using because they last forever. And they're just, I mean, even now, like, I don't have anything on my skin because of Tropic. Like, I feel so, we'll get to this in a bit, but I put on a mask today and I was like, I was loving it.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, really good.
So on the day of your shoots, how many sort of models were there, and were they was it for sort of like specific products that you were doing? I mean, I've got a few of your the images that they've used for the marketing materials which I sent to you. So there was one that I saw on Instagram the day. So that was, I think, would that have been from last year? Yeah.
So there were 2 different ones. One was last year and the other one was late the year before. So I presume 2018 towards the end, or maybe they were both last year. I mean, I can't fully, because I mean, I don't know about you, but time has been passing very fast recently, and they could have both been last year, or one was last year and one was the year before. But the first time I shot with them, it was mainly focused on their makeup styles. So it was mainly focused on what kind of I think where they were focusing on, like, there was a goddess look, there was a red lip beauty kind of look, and so they had maybe 6 girls with different makeup looks, and then they swapped again, and it was just like a tutorial kind of style. So if you would like to achieve this look, this is what this girl is wearing on her eyes, her lashes, her cheeks, lips, and that was the first one. And the second one was a little bit more kind of let's say vague. I think we just did a lot of beauty shots. It wasn't particularly based on a set look rather than just products. So there was just promotion of one of their blush palettes, and then some of their, what else was it? There's a lot of group shots as well that we did that were really nice. So I don't think we were specifically promoting actually, we were specifically promoting their makeup looks, because we didn't get any we didn't get to promote any of their skincare or hair range products. It was mainly their makeup that we were promoting. I forget that because I actually don't buy much of their makeup products because I just I love their skincare products. I guess their makeup products are absolutely amazing, and but I guess I've just been completely sold by their skincare. So yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I think it both of your shoots must have been last year because the new makeup range with the new look and then the palette as well came out last year. It was launched at the Glammys because we do Glammys twice a year where you know the ambassadors all over the country go to Birmingham to the NEC in Birmingham, and usually what happens there, I don't know if you've been invited at all, but yeah, usually what happens is that the first hour Lord Sugar comes up on stage and then he sort of gives his kind of like you know kind of opinions and take on the sort of business side of things, because you know obviously Lord Sugar doesn't use the products himself.
He could,
He's
though,
just
couldn't
purely
he?
there for the well, he could actually there are some men's products, so yeah, he may well use the men's products. Yeah, so you've got a men's shower gel, you've got a men's sensitive shave, and then you've got a men's body cleansing pebble as well, and also men's moisturizer. So so yeah, he may well do, and I think a lot of men are sort of like getting into skincare and even makeup as well. Actually, I was watching I love watching these kind of programs. Have you watched the one that's oh gosh, it was a recent they did a series 2 just recently with Stacey Dooley, and they had some makeup artists. It was a kind of like reality TV show with some you know budding makeup artists, and they had a number of male makeup artists as well as a number of female makeup artists as well, and I love watching that because you know the thing is with makeup artistry, I'm a makeup consultant rather than a makeup artist, but you know watching the program, I mean these guys are really talented, and you know like the fact that they can go from doing you know the sort of like salon makeup to theatrical makeup to kind of like makeup that you know as an actor or an actress in a program, if you're kind of like you know if you're injured or something like that, they were doing sort of injury makeup as well, and it was really fascinating. I mean, as an actor yourself, have you had to kind of like make on you that was, you know, perhaps like injury makeup, you know, like a black eye or, you know, anything like that? Have you had that done?
I have. It's always really interesting. I love the way I can't remember the term, but there's a term for it, isn't it? But sometimes they can make these little lesions. They put all this they have this extra material that they just kind of make it looks like they've severed your skin, and it's very interesting, and it requires a lot of talent. I can absolutely vouch for that. I think once I was given a black eye, that was interesting. So it was more makeup based rather than anything like on top of that. And I think that's the main thing. Maybe once I think I got a cut lip once, but nothing really intense, I guess, which would be very cool for the future. So I'll have to see what I get my hands into.
And it's because it's such an intricate process, it does take you know quite a long time. I mean, I don't you know normally watch things like Holby City or Casualty, but in that particular reality TV makeup program. I think they were on the set of Casualty, and yeah, they were, you know, sort of putting I'm not sure what they're called, but yeah, you know, sort of putting things on people's faces to make it look like that they had a gash, or it just looks really realistic. That it's a real talent, actually, you know, as you say, doing that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So you know, we mentioned a lot about Tropic. So what are your favorite, if you can whittle it down, what are your favorite
everything?
And
gosh, yeah. If I could be a sales rep for Tropic, I absolutely would, because I think I tell all my friends about it. It's been since I modeled for them, since I tried their skincare, I haven't budged at all. I brought a couple of their items along, so I'll just grab them. So two of my favorite at the moment is, one is this Tamanu healing balm, and I love this one. Yeah, it's basically nearly finished. I mean, you can probably see like the edges a bit left. Yeah, I've got another one sitting there actually, so I'm waiting to finish this, and I've got another one waiting for me to open. It's like a skin savior. I mean, you know everything about it anyway, but I love it. I love the moisture. I love I actually use it for my arms, because I get some like it's not an acne, but it's like some scarring on my arms. So I always put this Tamanu healing balm on there, because I feel like it gives enough moisture and hydration to the skin, but it's also got that healing element. So I feel that my skin actually gets rejuvenated when I use it. You can tell me about how that works, I guess. The other one, yeah. Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say that that it's a really amazing balm, and it's multi-purpose as well. And you know, I have customers it, you know, because they have really sort of dry skin on their feet, and they even use it for their face as well, on their elbows, and yeah, you can use it for like you know, say if somebody is a breastfeeding mother, it's really good for things like cracked nipples. It's really good for stretch as well. And yeah, it's just really great as a sort of all-purpose balm, without the chemicals, you know, completely natural. And the Tamanu plant has so many sort of healing properties in there, and yeah, so yeah, it's just great for pretty much anything and everything, insect bites as well. And yeah, just it's really an amazing product.
Has a lovely smell to it as well. It's very unique. It's very unique. I never heard of Tamanu healing balm until Tropic as well. So yeah. Another one I love is this one I use today. It's got it's like a clay brightening mask. This one here. Oh, it's called
yes,
Faceless actually. This one. Brightening tightening mask. It's just I love it. It's I actually find that it reduces my pores. I'm not sure if that's a thing that it's promoted for, but that's what I felt. This is the inside of it. It's just I love that. It does dry out my skin a little, so I always I apply the Tropic cleanser afterwards, and then I tone quickly. But yeah, those are my current two that I'm using right now. But I mean, to name some more, I love the Elixir, the Super Elixir Golden Serum, and the eye Dream Set, the morning and the night serum. The night, is it it's like a not a gel.
Yes. So,
would you say?
So the eye Dream, it's kind of it's a butter balm, so it's got bioretinol in there, and so you use it as a nighttime eye cream around your eyes, and yeah, it does. You know, I've been told that it really does make a difference. You know, because I guess, you know, when one becomes a certain age, you can kind of see the kind of lines creeping in ever so slightly. It's really good actually for that. And another thing as well that some people might not know is that you can actually use the eye dream on your lips as well. It's really, really lovely as a lip balm. Yeah.
I guess
So
so. I
yeah.
did a few shoots last week, and I think so. Whenever I'm not shooting, I try and have minimal makeup unless unless I'm doing events or if I'm modeling. So on the weekend, I did like a modeling acting gig. So it was like a music video with a storyline. But with these videos, they really pile on a lot of makeup. And when I get home that night, I'm just like, I don't know how to explain it, but after taking all the makeup off, my skin just feels so tender and it feels like it needs some treats. And I always go straight to Tropic to just give myself that extra boost because it was a 2-day shoot. So I had to have my skin prepped for the next day, and it was another pile on. And the products that they use as well, they're a lot thicker than the Tropic makeup. So it's because Tropic makeup is also so nice to your skin. And a lot of these other, I mean, generally makeup artists, not all of them will use vegan friendly or plant-based makeup. And so it's often very chemical, and you can just see the immediate reaction it has on your skin like later that day. So I do, yeah, I absolutely rely on Tropic when I'm treating my skin.
And you can actually use the elixir as a cleanser as well, because I mean with the cleanser, I mean the cleanser actually is really lovely. I mean that's my favorite product, and in fact my bestseller. And so they've got two versions now. One is the unscented version, which they've taken the rose out, the rose water out of. So that's really, really sensitive skin. But often people would use the elixir as well as a cleanser. You know, so you have like an all-in-one cleanser and a facial oil as well. So so yeah, I really recommend using that as well. You know, for a cleanser.
Okay,
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
try that. I sometimes get wary because I know there's a couple of their products where it'll say do not use this afterwards. And so when I think I saw it is it the fruit, could have been the fruit peel or the glowberry, one of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with the serums, there's several different serums. You've got the rainforest dew, you've got the glowberry, and then you've got the fruit peel, and then the super greens as well. So you're not really supposed to use the glowberry along with the with the fruit peel, you know, because it will cancel it out. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
And
No, that's the one thing I'm
yeah.
always aware of. So I get like unsure about what order to use some things in sometimes.
Oh yeah, and then there's the blue lagoon. Sorry, I'll call it the blue lagoon because it's blue,
It's
but
blue.
it's called the pure lagoon.
Yeah, I like that one actually. I do like that one. It's quite watery, I found. And I think the density, I liked it because it's so it's not oily at all. So it just soaks straight into my skin. But because my skin is generally more dry, I think my skin prefers the elixir. But I know they obviously serve completely different purposes, but just generally my skin it just soaks up the lagoon so fast.
And so the lagoon is specifically for you know people with with blemish skin, and because there's a difference between dehydrated skin and dry skin. So dehydrated skin means that there's a lack of water, so the rainforest dew is really, really good for that. Whereas like if people have dry skin, it means that they're lacking in oil. So the elixir oil is very good for people with dry skin. Yeah.
How can you tell the difference between dehydrated skin and dry skin?
Or in fact, Tropic did do a it's kind of like a device where you it's kind of like a long thing where it actually measures, you put it against your skin, and it will tell you if your skin is dehydrated or not.
Okay.
So they do actually have this particular advice, sorry, this particular device. What I can do is maybe see if they still have it, and then I can get back to you.
Awesome.
But usually with dry skin, you can sort of tell that there's sort of dry patches, whereas with
Okay.
dehydrated skin, perhaps it's prone to be a little bit more kind of like a little bit more sort of lined,
Okay.
there's more sort of lines and wrinkles. But it's a good idea to drink plenty of water, and this as a yogi as well. So yes.
Peppermint tea here on the go.
Oh, lovely. Oh, I love peppermint tea.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what have you been doing during lockdown, and so what are your hobbies?
Oh, okay. The one thing I've missed, I love swimming. I love swimming. I used to be a swimming teacher when I was very young.
Oh,
I actually that was my first job at 14, was assisting in the kids pool, but teaching 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, which was wonderful. And
oh, wow.
it was great. I was a really good swimmer at that age, and I think if you don't keep it up, it's not that you forget how to swim. You can't forget, but my stamina is dropped so hard. But it's been an interesting time, I think, for everyone over this quarantine period. I think personally, I took it all as a bit of a break, a bit of a time to relax, a time to reflect, a time to take a back seat away from social media, away from chores and duties and this rush lifestyle that we have in London. I think that's
Mm,
one of the things that I've been trying to detox from, is this lifestyle that we have as Londoners, which is very much work orientated, and often
mm,
it deteriorates our personal happiness. I think it can really
mm,
eat away at you, and it takes away from your true. You kind of I mean, personally, I'll talk from myself actually, no, not for other people, but for me, working in London, I worked in London last year in a diagnostics cancer lab. So I did go into the biomedical field briefly, and
oh,
it was okay, but unfortunately, it just wasn't for me. And this detox time over quarantine has been really great for reflecting. I've started doing some online courses, so I'm learning how to teach children yoga all online, which is fabulous. Um, I've been relaxing wholeheartedly, so sleeping in or staying up late, which is it's fun sometimes to do. Very, very very fun. Also watching movies. I have enjoyed going for my walks. I think the parks have been absolutely packed, and I've really loved seeing that. I've loved seeing how people have time now. Well, they had time. I mean, we're getting back to normal now. But the amount of people that
mm,
I saw in the parks nowadays was just refreshing to see people enjoying fresh air, less cars on the road. This kind of lifestyle was really,
mm,
it was
mm,
really nice. What else? I had a lot of time
Yes,
at home.
good.
Yeah, it was, I think, I can't say that I did much, but in terms of my hobbies, even a lot of the things that I love to do, like I love to dance, um, not
Mm,
necessarily choreographed dancing, just more expressive dancing. I enjoy it, and I experienced a sober rave at Morning Gloryville at the end of March, just before everything kicked off. And it was probably the best party I've ever been to because everyone was sober. There was rave music on. There was a lot of respect on the dance floor. So you could just have a really good time without feeling any pressure. You could just enjoy yourself. And that was fab. That was absolutely fabulous. So yeah.
Oh, wonderful! And you sing as well, don't you, Anusha? You, yeah,
I
yeah,
do.
yeah.
I do. I love singing. It's one of those things that's very close to my heart because music is so expressive. And I mean, I could turn on a song and just get so emotional because of just feeling the melody or feeling the lyrics. I love to write songs as well. So when I'm feeling particularly, I don't know, if I'm feeling a particular way, I can always just grab a pen and paper or get my phone out and just start writing lyrics to songs. Um, I studied musical theatre when I was young, and then I was classically trained. So I did up to levels of 7. I graded up to 6, and then I started learning up to 7. And I had a
Mm.
fascination and a borderline obsession with the Phantom of the Opera musical. And I used to just come
Ah,
home after school and just sing my heart out. And oh, it was, I still adore singing. I sing in the shower all the time, and I might work on some music soon, but I'm biding my time.
ah. Oh wow! So, you know, what you mentioned, Phantom of the Opera. So, what
Yeah.
other musicals do you like, and have you sort of performed in any of them?
All right. I mean, that's the one thing I haven't done. I haven't actually pushed myself because I think you have to be a very good dancer. And unfortunately, I did train as a dancer, but when I started ballet, it wasn't for me. So then I went into street dance, which I loved, but I studied street
Mm.
dance till maybe the age of 17, and then I stopped. And I did modern Indian dancing as well. But
Ah,
I don't think I'm naturally a dancer. And I think when you do musical theatre, you need to be a strong dancer as well as a strong singer and a strong actor. But it's all three, really. And dance was probably the one area that I'd have to put in a lot of work to keep up. Um, so the other musicals I love, um, I really enjoyed The Greatest Showman. The music was wonderful.
mm,
And that Lady Gaga, the new one with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper, A Star Is Born, the
oh,
remake. The,
ah,
the music was amazing. I loved it. It's not obviously it's more TV, but TV musicals, but
mm,
classic musicals. I really adored the Les Miserables. Can never pronounce that, but
mm,
I Dreamed a Dream, famously sung by Susan Boyle. But
oh,
I actually
yeah.
sang that for my grade 6, and it was really, yeah, it was wonderful. I enjoy most theatre plays as long as there's a strong storyline and a really good range of music. So yeah.
I do love watching. They used to have these sort of reality TV programs about musicals where they had
Mm.
Andrew Lloyd Webber. I think they were looking for Joseph. They were looking
Oh
for
yeah.
Jesus Christ Superstar, Maria as well. They were looking for
Oh wow.
Maria, and yeah. So I love anything like that. You know, I love BGT. I love watching
Oh yeah.
The Voice and the X Factor. Yeah, I'm quite. I don't watch a lot of TV, but I really do like watching these sort of reality TV programs. I'm at the
Mm.
moment during dinner we're watching oh, what is it? It's not to do with musicals, but it's a Dragon's Den. Dragon's
Oh, okay.
Den. The Apprentice. They're doing sort of
Oh
like
yeah.
various, obviously, because of lockdown, they're having to compile various TV programs and sort
Mm.
of do the best of. So I'm at the moment I'm watching the sort of the best of Dragon's Den, and
Awesome.
yeah. So I,
It's very
I love
inspiring.
all of that. Mm.
Absolutely.
It is. It is. And I really love watching all the people, whether they're kind of like mad inventors, and you think, oh gosh, I mean, how did they come up with that idea? But
Mm,
to actually come up with an idea, even getting a prototype and being there in front of millions of
yeah,
people, kudos to them. And yesterday I
absolutely.
watched the one where they actually fought back. The candidates actually fought back, and there was a few of them actually which they completely took apart. And one of them actually, I think it's called Tangle Teas. It's
Yes,
an
the
inventor
hairbrush,
who's
right?
yeah, that's right. And they all ripped apart that particular inventor, and he's gone on to sell millions. So
Mm, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Because I even know about it. So yeah. I think
yeah.
they sell in boots now, don't they? Well,
Yeah. I
mm,
could do with getting one actually, because my hair gets quite knotty.
ditto, ditto.
Yeah. So, do you have any sort of oh yeah, we spoke about Kundalini yogi,
Mm,
the fact that you're a Kundalini yogi earlier, and then you also mentioned about how you sort of got into it. So, you're starting. Did you say that you're going to be starting classes at the Harrow Arts Centre in September? Is it?
that's right, yes. So I was actually teaching before quarantine kicked off. So I was already doing one class a week. It was actually more of it was a voluntary service I was doing. And because we're very much I think one of the teachings of Kundalini Yoga is very much about giving to society and giving back, because we've had the honor of being able to absorb these teachings and have the experiences we have. So giving back is a really important part of Kundalini Yoga. So yes, I will
Mm,
be starting again in September, and hopefully, I mean, I don't know how it will be, because obviously a lot of the people are over 65, so we'll have to see how things are um, with coronavirus, obviously,
mm,
and how the people are, how their health is. So yes,
mm,
it's always it's really wonderful, that element. I think the there's something I wanted to work on, and it's actually part of my charity work, and it's called the IME campaign, and it's all about being yourself. So it's called what I am E, but it's I am me. So there's a little play on that, and the main goal of this campaign is to bring yoga and mindfulness to children. So this is the future focus for me, and it will be bringing Kundalini yoga to women that are, I mean, as early as their pregnancy, into newborns to toddlers. So carrying forward this Kundalini energy and this practice to people of all ages, really. And it's really to kind of just instill this sense of mindfulness, but also self love, to make sure that people are feeling grounded along the way and not feeling too caught up in whatever distractions are around us and whatever things that might be heavy on our heads, or things that we're carrying
mm,
along with us, baggage and weight that we don't need. And I think that starts from a very young age, and for a lot of people,
mm,
they carry it for throughout their childhood, throughout their teenage life, into their young adulthood, and it can affect them hugely during this prime time of their lives. And I really want to create a small change by bringing this Kundalini yoga to younger people, because often it is more of a, I would say it's more of a mature type of yoga. So I think it's very important to try and adapt it somehow and bring it to the youth of today. So yeah.
Fantastic. And so, do you have any sort of tips for my viewers as to what they can do, perhaps during these sort of tough times? What they can kind of do to de-stress?
Of course. I would say that obviously when we're wearing masks outside and we're having to cover our faces, it's very important to do pranayama work, which is breath work, because as much as wearing the masks is beneficial to prevent the spread, it's also very detrimental to your own personal health. And I strongly feel that this isn't being pushed enough because people are wearing it all day, especially people who are working in retail environments, wearing masks all day, and it's very detrimental because you've got a stale, you essentially are having a buildup of stale air, and certain masks a life a lifespan, and the certain I think it's plastic surgical ones are an hour use, and the material ones need to be washed every 3 hours. There's a couple of statistics, and I think people need to be aware of these things because after this time limit, the masks aren't going to be serving the purpose that they should be. So really, it's better to remove them, either replace them or do breath work and help your personal or help yourself, I guess. I would recommend, there's one exercise I brought along with me, and it's more for de-stressing. It's more to calm the mind, calm the body if you've been feeling a sense of fear or feeling a sense of anxiousness, because obviously as a collective, when a huge proportion of our population are feeling a certain way, it's very easy for others to absorb that similar energy. And it's just an 8 second in, 8 second out work. So you just inhale for 8 seconds, you hold it, and then you exhale for 8 seconds. There's no holding for 2-3 seconds. You just go inhale 8 seconds, exhale 8 seconds. And it's a continuous breath work that you can do that just calms your body down. It regulates your breath, and it also just eases your mind, especially when you're doing the counting, because your mind can't do that much at the same time. So even focusing your mind on the counting of the breath will just slow you down and bring you back down to feeling more grounded, feeling less anxious or stressed or whatever it is that you feel like you're going through. So that would be my recommendation at this stage. And just being careful with the mask wearing. If you have to wear it, absolutely wear it, but just remember to cleanse your lungs afterwards, and cleanse your breathing.
And do you think having a mask with filter is better than without a filter? Do you think? Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't. I am not the person to say. I don't know lots about the masks, but all I do know is if it's more the surgical masks, the blue ones that do not have the filter, or if it's a material one, again, without a filter. These ones, I would say, if you're going to wear them, keep them for short uses. Don't wear them for extended periods of time. If it has a vent and it's a working vent as well, if it's all, you have to clean the filter on the vents too. So this is another element of maintaining your mask. So just, I would say, just do a bit of more research, look on Google, check wherever you need to from the manufacturer, and just have a look at what the product that you're buying is actually, how you need to use it, because each single mask has a completely different description to it, essentially.
And I guess if somebody's going to be out for a while, perhaps it's better that they have a spare mask, to use, because as you say, some of them, like the surgical mask, after an hour, it needs to be washed or well, I probably personally myself, because I'm very much into green issues, so I would probably not want to throw masks away. And in fact, actually, I saw on Facebook that that people have just been using their masks once and then just throwing them away on the street. And so yeah, for me personally, I don't like the idea of using a one-use mask. Perhaps like a cotton mask which you can wash, that is reusable, I think is better for the planet. And if you have several in spare, and after 3 hours of wearing that particular mask, you can always put your hand in your pocket and get the other one, your spare one. So yeah, I think that's a good idea, actually. Yeah. All right, so thank you very much, Anusha, for being my wonderful guest today, and it's been an absolute pleasure having you. And again, thank you to my viewers at home who have joined us today. If you're watching on replay, if you could post in the comments section #replay, that would be great. And also, if you wanted to get in touch with Anusha, she'll have her details also in the comments section. And again, if you'd like to, we spoke about Anusha's favorite tropic products. So if you've seen anything that you like, do get in touch with me. You can private message me on Facebook, or you can email me at lovetropic@gmail.com. That's LOVETROPIC@gmail.com. And you're welcome also to have a look at my website, which is www.lovetropic.info. And don't forget to choose me, Shabari Saha, as your ambassador. And I'll also be putting the details in the comments section as well. So thank you once again, Anusha. And thank you. You're very welcome. So until next time, bye-bye.